Anywhere else I'd be a 10. Ah, freaking love that. As the Barbie movie, there's a couple good things that came out of there, but the Ken song was one of them. I like the Saturday Night Live clips with the I'm Just Pete. That was great. Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a VeVe OMI DEFX DACAT DEVVE update video. Also, there is some wild news that I need to cover for Venezuelan oil, and then the shooting in Minneapolis today. Horrible stuff, but we'll try to get through it, guys. If you're new, welcome. For not, welcome back. I love you all. Let me go in and say hello to Yostef. Hey Yostef, how's it going? Say hello to Dashi. Hello.
Hi cousin.
Now, you are live right now. Say hello.
Hi everybody. I miss y'all.
Oh yes, we all miss y'all too. I mean, I just saw you, but everybody else misses you.
No, I know. I'm so glad I saw you too. It was so crazy how it happened. We were in the right spot at the right time. So I was like, is that my cousin? And you're right there.
Yeah, that was great. I feel like I feel like Patrick when he's talking to SpongeBob, he's like, Sandy misses you.
I know.
Even Squidward misses you.
But I was just returning your call, so if you want to call me after you're done streaming, feel free.
Yeah, absolutely, we'll do.
Okay,
All
cool.
right, catch you later. Bye.
Love you, bye.
Yeah, love her too. She's great. Through our interview. Okay, yeah. So that was Yostef. Got to see her down in Orlando, which was great. And then after Orlando, I think we've just been playing phone tag back and forth, just both very busy. Got to go and meet her new bae, which is fantastic. She met my bae, so she met my bae and I met her bae. It was a lovely exchange of pleasantries between baes. Anyway, let's get to this. We got William Keeper saying, "Let's go. Let's get this bread." I do want to start off before I get into the crypto stuff with everything else. What's up, Bill Gardner saying second? You are second. Penguin Colada saying, "Let's go. Let's get this bread. I love this game." And then what do we got here? Is this, am I tripping? I don't know why this says it's, okay, there we go. And then Jamar 1987 says, what's up, Randy? My man, how y'all doing? Y'all can just smash that like button. It is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. Super chats as well. Okay. X out of there. Okay, we're good. First, I do want to go over Marion Awful's recent post about how the U.S. and Saudi and Venezuela, their oil axis, could squeeze Russia and China dry. The U.S., fresh off its bold snatch of Maduro and a grip on Venezuela's monster oil stash, just reached out to Saudi Arabia, the OPEC heavyweight that's been cozying up to Washington again. Throw in Venezuela's reserves now under Uncle Sam's thumb, and you've got a trio packing over 600 billion barrels of proven crude. That's not just big. It's a potential stranglehold on global supply that could leave Russia gasping for revenue and China scrambling for alternatives. But is this a possible power play or just a tinfoil idea of mine? Let's break it down. First off, the reserves are no joke. Venezuela sits on a whopping over 300 billion barrels, the world's top dog, anywhere between 17 and 20% of the world's reserve. Years of mismanagement and sanctions have tanked its output to under 1 million barrels a day. Oh shit, I just got a... All right, we're going to get to that later. But 1 million barrels a day, that is nothing. Saudi's got 267 billion, pumping around 11 million daily like clockwork. Add the US's 45 billion and is chart-topping 20 million barrels daily production, and this block controls nearly 40% of global proven reserves. Russia, respectable 80 billion, but it's an exporter kingpin relying on sales for half its budget. China, barely 25 to 28 billion. Domestically, forcing it to suck in 11 million barrels daily from abroad. Mostly Russia, 2.2 million, Saudi, 1.6 million, and spots like Iraq and Iran. Trump's team didn't just boot Maduro. They're eyeing Venezuela's oil as a US-led revival project. Energy SEC writes talking direct control of sales, with American firms like Exxon or Chevron pouring billions to fix the busted infrastructure. Chevron's still there. Exxon actually left a while ago, but they're probably going to go back in, and they're probably going to have to take... At face value, there's this one, my friend, Turtle Golf, y'all know him. Y'all know, same old G, but a bit low key. He gave me a video the other day called Investing in Venezuela Oil, a bad business case. And this guy makes the case saying that, and also full disclosure, this guy seems very, very anti-Trump, very, very left, and he does seem to make cases for and against things that just, oh, well, if it's to make the right or Trump look bad, he'll make the case, even if it's like a straw man argument. Anyway, he had made the argument that, well, it's going to take $100-something billion over the course of the next 10 years. It doesn't look like any oil company would do that even if they split it 50-50, or, it just doesn't look like it's going to be worth it for them. But because of the fact that Venezuela's got a lot of gold, they got a lot of Bitcoin, and a lot of this can be used for that, it doesn't seem like it would cost $120, $130 billion. It might cost half of that. And again, if all of that is put on the front end of it, it seems that none of these companies would really have to put up much to start, at least for the first several years. So anyway, there might be more than just Chevron or Exxon. There's probably going to be one or two other companies on there as well. Production could ramp up to 3 million barrels daily in a couple years, flooding markets, crashing prices, and gutting Russia's war chest. Remember, Moscow exports dipped 7% last year during sanctions, with revenue hitting rock bottom at $11 billion in November. Supply glut from this theoretical oil axis, that's Russia's nightmare, slashing its $394 billion annual export haul and starving Putin's machine. China's a real wild card. Beijing imports are hooked on Russian crude, which is 20% share. The U.S. influenced Venezuela diverts flows away from discount deals to China, and Saudi fully pivots west under Trump-Rubio diplomacy. Xi's got problems. Recent Rubio-Faisal bin Farhan chats on Mideast stability hint at coordinated plays, maybe sinking output to pressure Beijing on trade or Taiwan. China's already pivoting to Iran, which is 1.6 million barrels daily, but that's volatile with U.S. sanctions on the horizon. And with Venezuela's heavy crude, perfect for China's refineries, losing access means higher costs or risky bets on Middle East volatility. Venezuela's revival may not be quick, needing 100+ billion and years from corruption hangovers. Saudi Arabia's got its own vision, 2030 diversification, and full-on embargoes on China would spike global prices, hurting everyone, including U.S. drivers. But Trump's track record? Tariff as weapons, energy dominance as gospel. This team-up isn't about total cutoff, it's leverage. Flood the market to undercut Russia's prices and offer China deals tied to concessions, like ditching Huawei or easing rare earth access, and watch the dominoes fall. So even though this was technically written by Mario Nawfal, I'm like 99.999% positive that most of this was written by ChatGPT. Just my opinion there. OMI boys, hey mate, any thoughts on my last post? Best, can you send me your last post? If you can send me a link to what that was, I will go over it. So moving on from that, we do have Fox host calls Dems irresponsible for blaming ICE for shooting in Minneapolis before facts are in. It was getting pretty spicy as John Roberts calls out Democratic polls for fanning flames instead of chilling during the probe into that fatal ICE shooting. He's pointing fingers at Governor Walz's propaganda machine, Dig, and Mayor Frey's got the F out rant. Even the Dem strategist on the panel is throwing shade, urging everyone to pump the brakes. John Roberts says it's Democratic politicians who are not out there calling for calm while this is being investigated. They're telling ICE to get the F out of Minneapolis. You have the governor of Minnesota saying, don't believe the propaganda machine. Is that the appropriate response to something that happened like this? The Democrat strategist says, I think it's important for everybody to count to 10 and let the facts come in before they start making these grand declarations. We'll go over more of that in a minute. Statements made by Governor of Minnesota and the mayor of Minneapolis, I think, are irresponsible, particularly when the facts are not in. They're inflammatory. Speaking before all the facts are in, I want to go to Trump's post here saying that I've just viewed the clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's a horrible thing to watch. So I think we could all agree with that first sentence. Yeah, horrible thing to watch. Then he goes on to say the woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator. I don't know if I'd do that. And the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer. Oh my God. Okay, so guys, I saw the video. I can't show it on here. Yes, she was disorderly, she was obstructing, and she was resisting. And I don't know if she willfully, yeah, she was a little violent. I don't think she willfully tried to run over the ICE officer, which she didn't. She hit him. Like if I'm that woman and I see 3 dudes that are coming out of unmarked cars, like they weren't like, they didn't say police on them, didn't say, and now granted she knew what she was doing. Like again, she was specifically blocking the road. Like she knew that ICE was like that they were ICE, and she was blocking it, trying to make a barricade. And then again, they come out, and I assume they're attempting to pull her out of the car. She probably freaked out. She reverses a little bit, and then she speeds forward. Now, again, this is her probably just freaking out because three armed dudes are coming at her. You know, what's she gonna do? So she pulls back, and then she speeds forward. And as she speeds forward, she's like ready out on like a head-on collision course with this dude, who did already seem to have his gun or his hand on his gun, takes it out. She does hit him, like she does with the car. Trump makes it sound like he was like run over. He was. I don't even think she ran over his foot. She did hit him. He gets off a couple shots. She dies. Like she's gonna be on a t-shirt tomorrow. If you're the ICE agent, I don't know how well they vet these guys, if they are even trained or how much they're trained or what type of background checks they have, if they're just gonna have it, whatever. Anyway, he continues on to say, who seems to have shot her in self-defense. Okay, yeah, it does seem like that. There could be an argument made for that. Based on the attached clip, it's hard to believe he's alive, but is now recovering in the hospital. Again, she did hit him. I'm sure he had to go to the hospital to see, hey, is anything broken? Is anything sprained? And then whatever. Situation is being studied in its entirety, but the reason these incidents are happening is because the radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting our law enforcement officers. I mean, he's not wrong. I think I have a lot of friends on the left, and they're mostly just cool, and we agree on a lot of things. That like there's a couple of videos of ICE agents like tackling this old man, or they're taking out like, you know, arresting Maria that's done like nothing wrong in her 20 years here, came here during the Bush administration, and just, you know, is like living like those videos. Those suck. Those are hard to watch. Like at this point, they're American, right? But yeah, you do have the far left that goes on and just one, a lot of times make mountains out of molehills. This is not that. Someone died. That's horrible. But it's like everything that Trump does. Again, like Trump could find the cure for cancer, and the radical left would be like, oh well, actually, it's better if you have like they'd make up some stupid freaking excuse and say why it's bad. The same thing with Maduro. Like you've had, you know, bombs, and like there was Clinton, Obama, Biden, like every single Democrat, and granted Bush did it as well. They've done things like what Trump has done, and they're silent under Democrats. Which, if you're gonna be consistent and say like, hey, the president shouldn't have control of something like this, or the U.S. shouldn't do something like this, stay out of foreign wars, stay out of this. You should, if you want to go and take the libertarian point of view and just say you cannot go to war without a declaration of war, Article 1, Section 8. Okay, say that for every president that does that, then, not just for who you don't like. Anyway, that's, I think radical left are just not consistent with that. But then Trump going out and saying the radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting our officers, which is technically right, but just the way he's saying that is like, that's not the way to bring people together. There's an ICE agents on a daily basis. They are just trying to do their job, making America safe. And for the most part, I think that's correct. It's just the viral clips of the ones like most of the arrests are just, they're carried out very well. It's just the small percent of the stuff is like, okay, yeah, this 70-year-old dude should not have been tackled. This lady that's been nothing but trying to be a good citizen 20 years should not have been arrested. Like there's, yeah, out of the hundreds, like thousands of people that are being arrested, you have these these few cases that, yeah, they shouldn't have happened like that. Hope the people get reprimanded. Anyway, says we need to stand by and protect our law enforcement officers. Agreed. From this radical left movement of, yeah, like nobody should be violent here. I hope there's more calls for peace and more calls for just trying to love one another. because this is not a fun thing to cover. What we got? Only Boy says, "Yep." But can you like send me what you? Doja says, "Sorry, but you shouldn't drive a car to an officer demanding you to stop." Agreed. You shouldn't. Tragic that the mom. Okay, I'm not going to read the end of that, but yeah, that's yeah. You should not drive a car toward an officer demanding you to stop. Also, I just my man, get that bread. Get that flatulent bread. I can't. All right, give me one sec. Oh, sheesh. Right now? Oh no, this is 20 hours ago. Awesome. Oh, my boy Nico is getting interviewed. I sent it. Use the link as a. Can you send it on X? Like, if you can either tag me in it or send it to my X DMs, then I can. Yeah, my man. Yeah, so YouTube deletes the links, but if you send it to my X or tag me in it, I should be able to see it. I'll keep a check on notifications. A few questions. I have a few questions as well. Fudge. Okay. So let's see what Mario Nawful has to say about some of these things. Okay, you're gonna tag me. Okay. Are you Omi Boy on X? Let me know what your username is on X and if it's Omi Boy or not. Oh, thank you for all the follows, everybody. That's great. Got to get a bunch of follows here. Because I am not sure. Because I'm going by all, and I don't think I see it. So anyway. Unless maybe I have to search you. OMIBOYY. If I type in Omi Boy, it doesn't. I don't get anything. It's just like a bunch of people from like 2012, 2013. Latest. Yeah, I don't have a. Like this is what comes up for Omi Boy. At least the way you spell it. Okay, all right, there we go. OMIBOY 1_. Okay, all right. You have tagged me, so I will get a reply. Okay. It's a very good interview of Scott Milker, Wolf of All Streets. I would say I know the name. I don't think I know him. I know the name Scott Milker. Oddly connects to how I'm feeling about the market right now. There might be an underlying legal uncertainty around token ownership that we're still underestimating. Think so, but let's read on. As token holders, myself included with Akomi, we don't really have hard legal rights. Value ultimately depends on the utility the team delivers, not on a solid legal framework behind the token. At the same time, I keep wondering whether liquidity could be slowly shifting elsewhere, maybe towards more regulated instruments, stocks like Coinbase, MicroStrategy, or even potential IPOs like Kraken. I'm not saying that this is happening, but are we moving from pure momentum into a more critical, fundamentals-driven mindset? For the long term, that would be better. For the blow off top that people want, and people want like 20x's and whatever, that's just, if this is true, that might not happen. That's why when I bring it back to Akomi and VeVe Official, it feels like a key moment. After 3 to 4 years of building, the question might be, can the team clearly articulate and execute why this token should generate demand? Why use the token here instead of deploying capital or attention elsewhere? To be honest, I expected a stronger end of year. Publicly thought momentum would be different. The Kraken listing, at least so far, hasn't translated into meaningful volume or renewed conviction, and that feeling is hard to ignore. So I'll go over your extra few things, the last 2 paragraphs here. Can the team clearly articulate and execute why this token should generate demand? They have, let me take a swig of protein here. Protein's so good. The token has more than 99% or has more utility than 99% of any other token out there. It's attached to the biggest brands in the world, and most of them have made their first appearances of digital collectibles on VeVe. I think that means something. I think that means a lot. You know, Pokemon, even for the biggest brand in the world, Pokemon was cool from the late 90s through mid 2000s. Then it kind of fell out of favor. From like 09 to like 2015. If you were buying and selling Pokemon cards, you were seen as like special. Oh, you need to sit at the kids' table at Thanksgiving. Like I don't care that you're in the military, like you're retarded. You had to, like, it wasn't cool, it wasn't sexy. So even for Pokemon, like for years, like this is go to like 2015, like almost 20 years after the fact that it started, it was still seen as children's card. Even when I was buying, like in the bulk of buying, it was still seen as children's cardboard for the most part. Obviously, people weren't laughing when I that Trophy Kangaskhan for over $250,000, but you know. So again, it took a very long time for that to make that round trip of being the craziest, most popular thing in the world to, oh yeah, I remember, you know, those games were cool, the show was cool, now it's kind of trash, to going back and be like, yo, remember this? Like, yo, like now, when the kids that became adults and they started getting adult money, it started coming back. So again, 2016, there was a resurgence of Pokemon Go. That got a little bit on there. And then in 2017, you got what was called a buyer's market, because everyone was trying to sell, and you as the buyer, you had all the power. And then in like 2020, 2021, seller's market. You had the cards, you had the power, because there was so much demand. So much demand. The demand that you would need to see for any one of these licenses, and again, I think the narrative can hit this year where you could buy something right now. I mean, the token had a not good day. The token had a bad day. It's down like 9%. It's below the 00018 mark. Crypto Rain did a show today with Paul from Definity talking about OMI, and Paul had it as a wait because it's still trending down, like after all these, after like 5 years, it's still trending down. 4 years. And it just, and even a buddy of mine that happened to had to sell a little bit today, he made the argument that I've had to sell before and I've bought back, and every time I've sold, I was able to buy back cheaper. And it's like, yeah, that you're right. I cannot argue against that. So he sold today. He sold, I think, a couple $100 million OMI worth. Tried to get a couple of OTC deals done, but everyone that wants to buy in or everyone that's ready to buy in an OTC deal, they're just looking for, you know, like the discounts, which I understand. That's what I do. But as the seller, who again doesn't own any, is just like, I don't care what the price is, like, just gonna sell at market, and that's what I wanted to prevent. I wanted to prevent the downward pressure on the token. But again, from the seller's point of view, like, listen, if I had 2 billion OMI and I only need to sell, you know, 300-400 million, yeah, I would go in and I'd do an OTC deal for a discount to prevent the downward pressure. But he's like, I'm not gonna have any OMI after this, so I don't care. And okay, fair point. So for this narrative, again, it had a bad day today. I think the narrative hits later this year. I don't know if we get a blow off top this year. We might have to wait till next year. There's two schools of thought. One is that you have a very, very bad Q1, where in February and March, you see another 30% drop off for Bitcoin. You see alts bleed another 50 to 80%. At that point, OMI might go down to the quad zeros. DEVVE, Definity, DACAT, like everything just takes a giant dump. Stays there for 90 to 100 days. And then as Jerome Powell gets out out of his position, you have markets start to rally. People go into risk on assets. Then yeah, stuff starts to pump middle of the year. Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, Solana, Doge, all these things get back to all-time highs and crazy amounts of it in the second half of the year. And then when it starts bleeding into alts, when we get to alt season, digital collectibles was probably not going to be the first thing to run. Last bull run, they were the last to run. So it might go with gaming, it might go with DeFi, it might go with DeSci, like it might go with AI tokens. There's so many different narratives that could run. If OMI's last, you might not even see a run this year. You might wait till 2027. The other school of thinking is that I had a consulting agreement that right now it doesn't look like it'll happen, but I was talking to a buddy of mine that we kind of work together in this, and I was like, hey, we might have this, person that signed up to this consulting agreement with us. And I said, like, how did you want to play it? And I told him, I was like, okay, let's say at this amount of money, let's say it's like $1 million, right? 25% of it we'd chuck in right away at all these different things. Then every week we would do an additional 12.5%, which basically means every 2 weeks do another 25%. So after 8 weeks, the capital would be deployed. And the reason why I was like, well, Travis, why would you want to do that if you think there's going to be this crazy drop off? Well, like that's one school of thought that I am leaning towards that there would be. But again, I don't know if that'll happen. The other school of thought is from a buddy of mine that said, like, listen, this entire thing could change in 6 weeks. So you need to get this done now. And he was imploring me to, like, just, if I were to get access to that capital, deploy it all, like, right away. Because of the fact that he thinks it'll happen the other way, where you would get this monster run starting in like late February, early March, and anything that we would have been able to buy for super cheap, we would have to buy at like 5x where it is right now. Now, granted, he said that before, and well, clearly that has not happened. So it's a crapshoot. So that's why I would stagger it a bit. I wouldn't put everything all in at once. It would just be, a little bit here, a little bit there, all the way for like 8 to 10 weeks, and then just see what happens. And at the very least, we get that 25% out. Anyway, so this is what we're looking at for OMI, and be advised again, OMI can go down to these, because it's still like it. Despite how low it is, it's still a $48 million market cap. So let me continue on with the rest of your post here. That in general, like eventually at some point, the collectibles will take off. There will be a digital collectibles narrative, NFT narrative, and the token will go crazy. So again, that will happen at some point, but we just don't know when. Our betting man, I'd say second half of the year. But it could literally happen in like the Clarity Act could pass, and then shit could go crazy in February. We have no idea. When you're talking about Kraken, the reason why Kraken didn't do anything is because if you're an American that wants to buy the token, it's very easy to do so. One, you could buy it on Coinbase. So you could buy, if you're a little bit more not avert, if a lot of older people needed it on Coinbase because they were not that technologically literate to be able to be like, I buy it on Bit4X, forget it. None of them were able to do it. But like Joe Sixpack is not going through that on Bit4X, from years ago. But Joe Sixpack can make a Coinbase wallet. He can get Ethereum sent there, or use MetaMask, whatever it is, Uniswap. The ease of access, you got so much easier access to the token these last few years. So anyone that's in America that really wanted to buy the token could buy the token, and that's why Kraken wasn't, didn't really mean anything. That's why it hasn't translated into any meaningful volume, because the people that could have bought it there, they can already buy it, and they've already bought it. So you continue on saying that said, there are positive signals. The Clarity Act could be a major step forward for the sector and potentially very constructive for projects like Acomi over time. Agreed. Devi too. Oh my God, Devi. Because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just a phase, but I'm genuinely curious how others see it. Are we overthinking this, or are we at an inflection point? The inflection point will be, I think, in 4.5 months. Clarity Act is passed, interest rates are lower, Jerome Powell's out of there. Because again, at some point, Trump will want the money printers to turn on. He wants people to get those $2,000 checks. He wants these things to pass. Senator Cynthia Lummis said earlier today that they're getting really close to being able to get this passed. Cool. And again, why do they want the money printers on? Midterm elections, Republicans want to make sure that they get elected. They want to make sure that they keep power. So yeah, I think at that point, crypto will go crazy. Yeah, I mean, unless they want to delay it for another 2 years and then this way pump it for JD Vance to get in, they could do that. I mean, if I have to wait another 2 years for crypto to go up, I don't know. I mean, the companies that I own will still keep making money, and my shares will go up, and I imagine I'll get bought out in one of them, probably two of them. Oh, at least one of them this year, and that'll be a nice nice check. If both of them get bought out, fuck. Oh my god. Yeah, that'd be insane. If both of them get bought out, it'd be bananas. Anyway, I actually own more than that, but two of the bigger ones have the potential for that. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. What's your take, Foster Hill? It would be amazing to see your thoughts on it. So I'm glad that you tagged me in that. That gave me a lot of content. William Keeper says, bought my third reso with OMI. I think it was actually cheaper to buy reso with gems today, because I think with gems it was down to like $600, but with OMI it was like $800. I'm trying to see what we got here. Yeah, it's $631. It's $631 for gems and $839 for that. But good stuff, Mr. Keeper. Good stuff. It says, I understand and agree with you. I totally agree that the team has been putting the work. Regulatory uncertainty with the biggest brands behind means slow steps, and I currently hold. Do you own 700 million OMI? That is impressive AF. Yeah, team's putting in the. I just remember the deal that affiliate deal that they had with New Rockstars. He had a couple million subscribers, and they did that deal with him. I don't know what that entailed. Did he go to VeVe or did VeVe go to him? And like I remember when Cryptoys did this with iJustine and somebody else, they had to spend like $80,000 to $100,000 on those appearances, and it did nothing for them, and they still failed. Now, granted, they got bought out, but again, they failed. So I don't want VeVe. And again, it's very possible that New Rockstars came to them. They might have saw the affiliate program and said, yeah, I think I can do this. Now, I'm telling you guys, as a KOL, like as an influencer, I am not doing stuff where I don't get paid up front. I'm just not. Like, you can come to me with the sweetest package of all, saying like, yeah, if you do this, we'll give you this. Like, if I don't get money up front, I'm not doing it. I don't care who you are. And that's little old me with 23,000 followers on X and 9,000 here, and more on wherever. Partly because, again, I don't own 100% of my channel. There's Mr. MC1, there's Tammy, and then there's Manu, and with that, again, I am a little bit beholden to them, saying like, hey, do you want me to do this essentially for free, and maybe we get something on the back end if the company survives, they do whatever. If you ask any of them, like, nah, cash up front, like, yeah, sounds good, because then they get paid on it. So I'm and I don't know if VeVe would ever let me look at their books or whatever. Maybe in like a private meeting with David, like, hey, let me help here, especially if the help is free. Just seeing where the money's going, because again, they're crushing it with these funds, and I just don't know because they're a private company, we don't know how many people are actually working for them, what they're getting paid, like what their plans are as far as, okay, how much is left in the war chest, where that capital allocation is going to. And because again, like with new rock stars, we had, I think in December, we had 4 days where we had over 1,000 users. In November, we had like 15 days where we had over 1,000 users. And in October, we had 2. So even if you partner with somebody that has a lot of views on their video, yeah, or their videos, yes, your ad might get a bunch of impressions because of the fact that that person made the video. But if it's not translating into people opening new accounts, or even if it does get people to open the accounts, but then they're not spending money, it doesn't mean anything. And I would rather them take the funds from that and reallocate that somewhere else. Because right now we're not in the market where we should be doing that. I think there's ways that you can do that if you, but again, you'd have to front load it. You have to say like, okay, guys, we're prepared to give away, like 100 million OMI, like what they're doing with Stacker. If you spend a lot on there, you get rewarded greatly. I don't know how long they'll be doing that for. I hope at least a year. I hope at least till the bull run. But if you go in and you say, hey, we're going to give away 100 million OMI, and all you have to do is you have to make the coolest video with AR, something that has to incorporate the collectibles. Put it across Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Reels, whatever. Freaking hate Reels, but whatever. And then let the community vote on it. And the top 5 people that make the best videos, they get 20 million OMI each. Or they could scale it and they'd be like, well, yeah, the number 5 person gets 5 million, and like the winner gets like 50 million OMI. I think that would be brilliant. But again, like this is just someone from an armchair CEO over here. Other things I would like to see for them in 2026, again, buying a gaming company, do something more with games. Because like I know somebody that has 30 million followers across all socials, and he refuses to go in and promote VeVe. And again, he's got like 1 billion OMI, but he refuses to promote VeVe until the app is fun. And I keep telling him, like, well, listen, like part of the reason like the app isn't like fun, as you say, is because there's not a lot of people making money. But that will change regardless. Like VeVe could sit on their laurels and not drop a thing. Once that narrative comes back, the app's going to be fun because everyone's making money. Instead, I think you should really highlight the work that they've been doing. Again, they've done more with the VeVe app than any other platform out there has with their IP, and it shows because last one standing. What says, but I don't know. Just thinking out loud. Was whatever happened to that Tetherball coin promoting? So I had a deal with Jenny, who was the lead of that. I don't know if that's public, if it's on the. Anyway, we had a deal where she came on, I think in 2024. Yeah, because I was dating Zen at the time. Yeah, so in 2024, she came on, I think 4 or 5 times. They came on just to talk about it, and that was it. It's the same as anyone else that were to come on and pay for it. They come on, we interview them, we see about the project, and they're still around. Where is the T-Ball on Soul? So they still make posts. Last one was 3 days ago. Then T-Ball spreading education on facts to help minimize risk with Jenny Q-Ta. If you vibe with our work, like, share, drop a follow. So again, is that AI? Oh, that's so cool. Anyway, so they're still doing their stuff. I don't know how many people have bought it or currently involved with them that are actively making it grow. But they're still doing their thing. They do have I think a Telegram and a WhatsApp. I don't think I'm in either of them. But me and Jenny are still cool. Like we're still friends. She can come on whenever she wants. She's like I said, is a friend. She made a lot of money over in Wall Street. She has a lot of good connections. Yeah, she's I actually originally I wanted to get Tetherball in the DeCat comic. But it was they just weren't sure how it was going to work out. I'll be like, I don't know. And I was like, so we wound up making a different character, and I think they'll be a little upset that they didn't get in on it, because it's because now I made a character that I own, that the cat owns, and yeah, pretty great. Oh boy, so thanks, mate. Take a look at the 3-minute clip. It's interesting. I'm disconnecting. Cheers, mate. Here's that's because I bought the cheapest 626 with OMI, and it was all free from OMI rewards on Stacker. Love it. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Shaving cream. 3-hour interview. Have to meet. Yep. Don't have. Yep. Burger King. Backup plan. Love it. Oh my God. Oh, no way. Hold up. I do, just maybe not right now. Oh my God. When the girlfriend trolls you just gotta laugh. Even though he yeah, I do. Every time. Give me one sec. Dropped another. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Resource 1149 on VeVe and Gems. Let's take a look see, shall we? Oh, it just popped up there. 1149. Good for you. Getting those resources. Space Penguin, another one that's in the DeCat comics, saying he loves it. Love those Space Penguins. They're great. They're amazing people. Might see a little bit more of an intimate connection between DeCat and Space Penguins soon. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. Anyway, let's go to. We did that. Let's go to Definity. See what they're up to. I think they had a negative. Yeah, they're down 10% on the day. To 1.6 cents, almost one. It's 1.695. It's pretty much 1.7. But it looks to me that they had a $1,300 sell order from a wallet that currently has no more. I think that was it. Yeah, there's 2,200 in volume, so not a lot of volume there. $2.6 million market cap. I really want. What do I got here? Okay, good goals to have. Very good goals to have. Great goals to have. So again, Definity, because of what I own in DMA Link and Bloomsbury Money, is by far my biggest bag. It equates to like half of my net worth, actually more than that. So yeah, that's a very big position for me. I did say I would never go all in on any one company or token again, but I'm not all in. It's just like 60%. It's a lot. I own about as much of that as I put into the OMI token. Let's put it that way. Because they're making a ton of money. Their token's already only like a $2.2 million market cap, so it's like, okay, it doesn't look like it has anywhere to go but up. So, and again, what they're making and what the token is worth is not skewed correctly at all. This is like being able to buy a first edition Lapras PSA 10 for like $600. No, this is worth like $2,000 card. $600. Yeah, make that trade all day. I honestly, I put in what I put in, like 69,000. Everyone comment nice down below with 69. I put in like $69,000 into DEVVE. It's worth less than 40 now. So like, probably should have just put that into Definity, but we'll see. we'll see how it goes. Penguin Colada says, why would Definity pay you in crypto Rain so much? Well, me and Manu have a very interesting deal where he actually owns part of my channel, and I own a good amount of. So we had a cross shareholding agreement. We had a nice. When we did that, it was so if I were to raise money again, it would be well over the $500,000 mark for my channel. But me and Mano have a very intimate relationship. Business, obviously, he's married with kids. I have a girlfriend. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I don't know what he pays Rain. I don't know what type of sponsorship deal they have. I just know that if I'm again, I have no idea their agreement, but if I'm looking at their relationship from an outside point of view, I was like, okay, Rain has an audience, and a decent amount of his audience is they have good heads on their shoulders, wealthy. They like he himself is wealthy. Like he himself, Rain hodls. And again, I don't know what the agreement is with them, but Rain hodls. Rain typically doesn't sell, and like he's definitely someone that I would want on my side. And like again, whatever agreement they came to terms with what that's worth is what they. And same thing with me and Manu. If I'm looking at me and Manu's relationship it's like, okay, well, this kid can raise money. This kid has a very vast network of high net worth individuals. Kid is very influential. People love this guy, and yeah, he's got an audience, and he works harder than anyone else in the space. And again, his connections go crazy. And so again, I don't know what you think we get paid. There's no way you know, but the agreements that which again are separate, and especially with me and Mano, because we have that. Our businesses are so like interlocked. It's yeah, it's great, and also he's a friend. Like I love him. We go to talk about one thing. It's supposed to be a 15-30 minute thing, and then hour 45 later. By the way, we just talk about everything. I just genuinely love that man. He's just such a cool dude. Such a good friend. So yeah, also like I'll tell you this, Paul from Definity, he's on Crypto Rain's channel every week, every Wednesday. He's worked for Manu for like 20 plus years. It's like, okay, well, how does that work? Like, why is that significant? It's like, okay, if you're like our parents' age, right? If you're like in the 70s, back in the day, what did you do? You got a job at one company, and you stayed there for forever, and then you were loyal to the company's loyal to you, they reward you. That went out the window in like the 80s, 90s, 2000s. Whenever that went out the window, I don't even know when, because for my entire semi-adult life, from the age of 13 to now, I would never stay with one company for more than a couple of years because of the fact that I could get I could get maybe a 7% raise at one company, where if I move, I can get like a 20% raise, and it's like, okay, get what you're worth. And in general jobs, you don't get paid what you are worth. You get paid what the job is worth or what you can bring to the company. And it's like, okay, you ever see? I'm going to use throwback example 20 years ago, which actually failed. It's good. It's not going to be a good metaphor, but whatever. Yeah, the first time the St. Louis Cardinals signed Albert Pujols, they signed him for like a 5-year deal, 7-year deal, whatever. As soon as he was eligible for renewal, $100 million for another 7 years. They were not going to let him go into the open market as a free agent because of what he would have, gotten. Years later, tried the same thing, give a couple $100 million for the rest of your time in baseball. He was like, nope, went to the Angels for like a little bit more money. Anyway, what Manu seems to do is that he seems to collect the best of the best in their industry, and he gives them more than enough reason for them to follow him. I will, just because of who Manu is as a person, not including how much money, like, and he's like the fucking Jerry Bruckheimer of crypto and fiat and forex and banking businesses. Anything he touches turns to gold. Excluding that fact, I would follow Manu anywhere just because of the type of person he is. I have met, I don't know how many thousands, tens of thousands of people. As William will tell you, my inner circle over the years has gotten smaller because there's just not a lot of real ones out there. Like there's not a lot of ride or dies. And especially that rare combination of someone that is a ride or die, but also, you know, you could have a ride or die that, like, I don't know, man. Like, you could have some that are like, they don't really help you. You're just going to be like the person that helps them out more than often. But it's like Aesop fable, you know, like sometimes a lion needs the help of a mouse. Anyway, long story short, I would follow Manu just because of who he is as a person, because of the fact that he's just he takes care of his people. He does the right thing, and he's just good quality individual. Like the guy I live with, Ernie. Like, he's just like the best, and I love him. No homo. And like, fuck, we do like everything together, and I would like, and we talk all the time. We talk every day, and anything that he wants to get into, I take a look at. Yeah, let's see if we can go into this together. Let's see if we do this. Hey, I have this deal going on. This deal doesn't need any more, you know, money. We're not asking you for that. I'm just letting you know that you would probably be salty at me if I didn't let you know about this deal before it does a 50x, 100x, you know, like whatever. So yeah, again, all that about Manu. The 14U F9H says, what can Definity hit? So there's obviously a difference. What can it hit? What will it hit? What should it hit? Everything in between. You can do one of three things. Right now is not a bad time to get in because of the fact that, you know, it's down 10% on the day. Okay, yeah, maybe throw in a little bit. Now I'll show you on CoinGecko what it was not that long ago. On CoinGecko, if you look at like the month chart, it was down to under 1.4 cents. And this is in December. I don't think it was that low. Actually, in November 2nd, it was actually 1.28 cents. It was just under 1.3. And it's like, okay. So it was down like 25%, actually like 33% what it was here. Let's say like 30% what it was here. So it's a 2.6. So it was down to like a $2 million, like maybe 1.8, like whatever it was so freaking low. And that would have been the best time to get in, you know, at 1.3 cents. Now it's 1.7. Let's see, that's got to be on. Yeah, it's like 1.7. 1.695. So the best time would have been to get in at 1.3. It's 1.7 now, but this is a $2.6 million market cap. They're doing hundreds of thousands in gross revenues per month. I won't let you know what the exact number is or what the number was that they grossed in 2025, but they doubled from 2024 to 2025, and they're probably going to double again this year. And there's a very good chance that they get bought out and the token holders get handsomely rewarded because, again, of who Manu is as a person, he would do right by the token holders. And again, I own a fair amount. My network, we own a large amount of that supply, and I'm looking to get more, which I shouldn't because I own so much of the freaking companies and the token, but it's just stupidly undervalued, like by a long shot. In my opinion. Now, that being said, if you get this crazy drop off in February, March, like people are talking about, this could get cut in half. Go from 2.6 to 1.3. I don't think it would. But it's possible. Like anything can drop like 50% because of, you know, if Bitcoin and ETH go down another 30%, yeah, that can happen. So it's going to depend on what's going to hurt less. If you say like, okay, you know what, let me wait until March. If nothing happens by March, then I'll put in. Or if it does happen by March, then I'll go in really early. Now, if you do that and it runs before you put anything in, like that's going to hurt a little bit. But if you put in now and then it goes lower, that's also going to hurt. But for me, if I put in now and then it goes lower, that is going to hurt less than if I wait to put it in and then it runs away before I can. Like, but again, that's just me. You have to decide what you want to do. Anything can go to zero at little or no notice. The only like World War III event, Mano gets abducted by aliens. I don't know. I don't know what the black swan event would be to make this company go kaput. But yeah, this is he's again, love him, love this. What it could hit, I think the worst case scenario, in my opinion, for Definity is that it gets bought out and he only gives the people like, yeah, we'll give it to, you know, we'll buy your tokens back at like 30 cents a token, you know, something like that. Like, or maybe not even, maybe like 20 cents a token, like whatever it is, that's probably the worst case scenario where it does like a 10 or 15 or 20x, whatever. I think that this can 100x from here is like barely over $250 million. Again, a 100x from here is barely over $250 million. That is, yeah. So 1,000x would be 2.6 billion. 1,000x is a lot. But for what they're doing and what they will do in 2026, and again, that virtual asset protector license, like that, or that virtual asset service provider, they might get bought out really just so that people that have these big vehicles, they could just drive through with these licenses and just be an unstoppable powerhouse. So yeah, this could do 1,000x plus. Realistically, 80 to 100x. I'd say realistically 80 to 100x from here. But you know, obviously it has that potential to do 1,000. Also potential for them getting bought out and they just say, hey, token holders will buy it from you at 20, 30 cents a token, which is 10, 15x from here. So in my opinion. Let's look at DeCat real quick. I had a meeting with the artist yesterday. We have a cool $39 in volume here today for DeCat. Very low, $1.1 million market cap. A good liquidity though. 100. That's actually more Ethereum than DeCat. There's $166,000 of DeCat in there. $167,000 worth of Ethereum, so that's nice. Damn, we're at 58 minutes here. We're at an hour. Oh, very good, very good. Give me one sec. Sorry, guys. Let me back. Sorry, I had to get back to something real quick. Get over. We're good. So not too much to go over on DeCat here. This is, again, it's my IP that I'll do. When I do want to, I don't even need the money for it. I just want to sell part of it just to make DeCat, like, get the headline. Hey, yeah, you know, have it at like 300K or 500,000 be nice. Let me show you. Can I do this here? Yeah, I own it. I mean, we're not going to show you page 62 because that's what we're working on right now, but we'll show the first couple pages, shall we? Well, actually, we were forced to make a couple of, yeah. Look at how good it looks. Meow. Meow, meow, meow. There's a little intro, a little story time. And then, oh shit. Oh gosh, why am I over here now? Genesis. Weird that this is freaking page 6, where it's supposed to be page 1, but you know, whatever. Hey, I thought this was about cats. These are frogs. Yes, they are. And it's great. And we love them. Okay. It's coming along great. Honestly, I originally said it was going to be 80 pages. Probably going to be 85 now. There's a lot to be done still. We are at 28 in the crypto fear and greed index. Index value is 28. Sentiment is fear. There's lots of fear. Synergies, okay, utility, view of assessment of this. I'll take a look at that later. I do want to take a look at FIAS here. We're down about 6% on the day. And the reason why I want to go, well, let's look at DEVVE first. I think DEVVE had a bad day too. Down 3.5%. Okay. They're just under 20 cents. They have a $17.4 million market cap. That is very, 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 very low. Now, they've been down to 13 cents before. So yeah, they could drop another 30%. You know, who knows? But let's take a look at DEVVE on the coin Gecko, and I want to show y'all something. On the coin Gecko, I think you were able to get it at like 30 cents. It doesn't show it here, but it went up to like $2.12, $2.14. Over there, this is September of 2024. It only shows 14, but it went down to like 13 cents. Like a year and a half ago. And then it went back up to like $1.80. Now, the reason why it had these giant sell-offs is because there was a lot of people that were just in that were selling. Like you had these token unlocks, and as soon as people got them, sell, 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 sell. And then there was rumors from like early December 6th was 47 cents, that, you know, there's going to be an announcement in January. So it got pumped up to $1.80. And then no announcement. And then it dumped back down to, you know, 19 cents now. Actually, let's look at it. It was even upward towards 30 cents before they announced, because we were supposed to get an announcement in 2025, and it was at 30 cents. And then suddenly, you know, they announced that they were not going to announce anything in 2025, but it would instead be late Q1 2026. I even think it'll be early Q2. I don't think they do an announcement in Q1 because a lot of things have to go right for that to happen. But that's just my opinion. Also, full disclosure, a buddy of mine put in about $250,000 into this over the last couple of weeks. Why? Because it's a great freaking price, in my opinion. And again, this could go back down to 13 cents, go back down to 9 cents, and go back down to wherever, you know, the crypto market takes it, especially if Bitcoin and ETH take a dump in February and March, like people are saying. But just to get it here is just such an amazing price. I told him to do it. So he did it. And he says, so you think we see 100K Bitcoin? Anything can happen. We could start pumping. We could go back. Like this month, I don't know. February, March, you could see Bitcoin at like 69K again. There's nice. I'm coming nice down below. If it does that ridiculous dump again, yeah, Bitcoin can go Bitcoin can get hammered, wipe out like the bloodiest day you could think of, or we don't have it because the Clarity Act passes, and then yeah, Bitcoin freaking rocks and rolls. There was rumors that MicroStrategy wouldn't, they would get removed from a certain fund, and then it came out today they're not going to get removed, and it's been craziness. Sorry. Getting back in the gym, and my muscles they're sore, but it's like my joints can't handle it anymore. They can't hang. New messages, realtor, yes. been doing more shorts recently. Have been doing more shorts recently. Hit or miss. Okay. So anyway, that's Debbie. Why I want to go over FIAS is because Tom's really stepping on the gas with FIAS. So it's down 6% on the day. It's a $1.9 million market cap. It's very, very low. And let me get into the FIAS. I don't even know where this is. All right, Tom's fed a lot recently. In the FIAS chat over on Telegram, he was going over and saying, keep things positive here. Comms in general is going to be a big part of FIAS, and we're going to build an AI integration with Telegram. Let me think about the unofficial chat. Let's not start one quite yet. Oh, shoot. So somebody asked the question, hey, I just watched the New Year vid, and with all respect, I can't see what's the point. Have you ever tried Cloud Code, for instance, with MCP servers, sub-agents with proper roles, like predefined skills? You can already solve complex problems. You have a good setup, you can create a team of sub-agent with responsibilities for each agent, and the orchestra agent can delegate tasks, etc. For me, this feels like the same thing that we described in that video. Tom says this is an excellent point. This is the most important question everyone here should be asking ourselves. How can we keep from being steamrolled by big players with endless pockets? As an example, I personally wouldn't put a dime into Cursor given Claude mode, and Cursor is a $30 billion company. Coding is a good example of where big players are going to come in and take over, in my opinion. This is the question I focused on most when I was designing the whole system a few months ago and was deciding if I wanted to spend my time doing this at all. This is a primary point of view in the white paper as well. So if you're truly interested in this, have a read of it, keeping this point in mind. I'm going to produce some more polished content on the issue specifically, but let me try and give a succinct answer here for now. This is why I think we can beat the monolithic, massive big players in the AI space. Our business models are different. They're building technology infrastructure. FIAS is fundamentally building financial infrastructure using DevX as a foundation. I think the company that dominates the financial side of the AI space is going to have the biggest advantage. Having the world's fastest blockchain is going to be important, which is what DevX is. Many different AI models working together are going to be better than one big model, no matter how good that one model is. Smaller models from places other than the big players can have better results in their domain. For example, such as a model trained specifically to read MRI scans, etc. Even with the big models, they each have their own strengths. In contrast to the big companies, we can use any of them where each is best. I can design an arch that uses Claude to do a task and then use ChatGPT to verify the results. I've already been utilizing that approach successfully myself, working with multiple providers. And there's cost. Small models efficiently orchestrated will be much cheaper. When our solutions are deployed at scale at an enterprise level, we cost significantly less because we leverage smaller, less expensive models that are perfectly fine for their role in the overall solution. Customers will pick us. And we integrate a different user interface for each problem set, and anyone can monetize their own domain expertise themselves. Thousands of people creating solutions in an easy-to-use system where everyone is competing, I believe will produce better solutions over time than a single company spending billions. The best user interface for complex problems is rarely just a text box. Our solution is largely a marketplace and earning mechanism for all of our contributors. Changing the AI landscape into financially driven and competing solutions is a powerful concept in itself. I want to become the Amazon of AI, not the better ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. That is so freaking perfect. I want to become the Amazon of AI, not the better ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. This is kind of like arguments of capitalism versus socialism. Both have their merits. Okay, Tom, hold up. All right, sorry. Both have their merits, but anything that utilizes principles similar to evolution will win over time. Big companies have a huge problem on their hands, which is innate in their approach. They're building massive black boxes where they don't know how the systems work internally. They need to spend billions to keep up with diminishing returns. I don't. I think their business model is flawed. I think emphasizing process per problem category allows for small models to have even better results without the big spends to prevent hallucination. There are going to be small models on our platform where some researchers solved a particular problem that the big companies haven't figured out yet. We'll be the go-to place for these types of contributors. No matter how many people Anthropic, OpenAI, Microsoft, Google, etc. hire, it's hard to compete against capitalism broadly. Non-technical users will be able to contribute their domain expertise on fiat in a compelling way to earn. Thinks1 says, hey, Randy, is that, if that Definity buyout happens, when do you think that would take place? That could take place at any time. Like that could happen overnight, and I could get notified in the morning. Like I can get an email saying like, hey, we got an offer, couldn't refuse. Here's your check. And I'll be laughing. I wouldn't show up for 5 days. I'd be laughing all the way to the bank. Or again, I don't think that happens right away. I think that Manu is a beast, and he knows what this is worth. He knows exactly, because again, he's not just some crypto guy that got into banking. He worked in banking for 20 years as he got into crypto, and he's like, he knows all the regulators, he knows all the hedges, he knows everyone. If he got, like, be advised, he's been getting offers. Like, they've been getting offers for Definity, or DMA Link, I should say. If he got an interesting one, like, okay, he can start a bidding war with all of the banks and hedgies and ETFs that he knows, be like, hey, they're offering me this. If you, like, they're offering me this. If you offer me this, they're going to come back this. I'll cut you a check. Like, and he could do that with dozens of different people. Like, and again, it's not just the fact that he's got a company that's making so much freaking money. It's the Axion AI, like their sister company, Axion AI. Like, it's the fact that they have, what does it cost? Like, I don't know how many thousands or maybe $10,000 a month to get. I know Warren Buffett's company has it. Warren Buffett just stepped down, by the way. But I know Berkshire has it. I know other ones have it. It's an anomaly detector. And if you trade with large amounts, oh, anomaly, boom, you make a lot of money with it. Again, it costs like thousands or tens of thousands each month to do, which if you're making millions, it doesn't matter. But they have Axion AI. Again, like Bloomsbury Money is a European bank, and they have made Definity, the Definity token, their official utility token. That is nuts. So I think Manu knows that if you go in and he gets bought, or he gets a serious, and not that offers for 50, 100 million isn't serious, but this could be worth billions in the future. What he might, again, there's so many different ways to do it. I could picture this, even if he got like a good offer, like, yeah, deal, handshake, it's still going to take like a couple months for it to finalize. Why? Because again, those deals take a long time to solidify. One set of lawyers says, here, send it back. Okay, let my lawyers look at it. Lawyers that I pay $2,000 an hour to, chuck it over there, and they just go back and forth, this, that, and that. And I would think it would take probably middle to end of the year. And again, it might not happen. Manu could just be like, no, I'm going to build this into a multi-billion-dollar thing, and then I'll cash out. He might not want to cash out for $200 million. He might want to cash out for $2 billion. And again, he owns a decent amount of Definity as well. So yeah, he's very incentivized to do a lot of things. Very incentivized. So again, it could happen soon, or it could not happen at all. I think at some point, Manu will be like, okay, we have Bloomsbury money, we can sell this, we'll do, but then Definity, I don't know. Might even raise money at Bloomsbury, and then Bloomsbury buy Demon. I don't know. There's so much that could happen. All of it's good, but obviously the best part would be if it doesn't happen until like next year, and then Definity goes crazy by that point. Zombie saying, yo, what up, Zombie? Thanks for being a member. We love it. I haven't even got to any of the news today. I still have to go more over fiat. Tom continues saying, given that our business model is different than theirs, there are places where we remove frictions they run into. They're going to run into more friction in privacy and security issues. We can utilize the blockchain infrastructure itself to provide auditable results. This has become a critical issue for enterprise applications. I think we can provide security and auditability that will be very powerful for large-scale solutions. We integrate not just AI, but also code blocks and humans in an easily composable way to solve specific problem sets. We're building a system that fundamentally uses humans where humans are best. I've created a technical approach that is fundamentally better in many situations. The FIAS architecture itself is powerful. I patented the FIAS approach. Our approach is more ethical. We don't scrape data from unwilling participants. We're more energy efficient. We're giving people a place to earn rather than simply replacing jobs. This is going to be very important to many customers and shouldn't be underestimated. There's plenty of room to innovate in the AI space, and a platform like FIAS where everyone can participate and monetize, I believe, will be the best way to innovate. Here's the fundamental point, and perhaps the best answer to this overall question. Can an ecosystem perform better than a monolith company spending billions? I think the answer is yes. And I think that FIAS can do what they do for a fraction of the cost, be profitable much more quickly, and leverage all of the above points to win. I'm not building this as a niche AI application. I'm building the platform that I think can dominate the AI space because I believe in an ecosystem approach and that will win over the monoliths. He continues on saying, that is the power of a marketplace of arches where anyone can tie in any model. If the models start misbehaving, then people can use different models. Financial-based system is needed to put the right pressures on models. Also, in the FIAS architecture, there will be thousands of entities, all scored and competing, that can be hot replaced if one fails. Doge, I'm on the toilet right now. Don't judge me. I watch YouTube. I mostly watch TikToks on the toilet. YouTube is more of a sitting down and having lunch type of deal, which I eat my lunch. I'm a very fast eater. I eat my lunch in 2 minutes. I was like, well, maybe I'll watch the rest of this video tonight when I'm not working, when I'm in bed. And my neck's been bothering me for a couple days. It's rough times. Anyway, speaking of which, I do have to talk to Tom. Yeah, time for a call soon. Okay. I think we went over all we needed to go over there. Okay, we got to go to we had to go to the stuff that we haven't yet. When did this go? Monday or Sunday? We could do the rest of Sunday. Actually, I think Sunday was done. Japan's finance minister backs crypto integration across stock exchanges. Okay, I'll take it. Global digital asset inflows reached 47.2 billion in 2025, just shy of the 2024 record, with the year starting strongly despite midweek volatility. Also, you have MicroStrategy that has acquired another 1,287 Bitcoin to increase its Bitcoin reserves to 673,783. Insane. Bank of America officially begins recommending that clients invest up to 4% of their portfolio in Bitcoin and crypto. Went over that. Tom Lee's BitMine bought $104 million worth of Ethereum last week. Insane. Trump says the United States has taken in over $600 billion in tariffs. Also insane. Governor Tim Walz has dropped out of the 2026 Minnesota governor's race amid a multi-billion-dollar fraud scandal in his state. Oh, okay. Yes. Oh Jesus. Polymarket announces plans to launch real estate prediction markets, allowing users to predict future home prices. Guys, apparently some of the biggest things that are negatively affecting youthful men are DraftKings and things of that nature, where I'm trying to think of other sports betting websites, and I can't right now. Maybe Kalshi, Polymarket. Apparently, a lot of young men are losing a lot of money on this. So, rip. I mean, it's still fun to look at. I mean, I don't use DraftKings. I don't use, any of the sports bet, but I don't know. Some of the stuff is just, it's still fun. Like, I understand why people use it. It's fun. And then being able to use it to announce, to predict future home prices. Hell yeah. I would totally bet on that. Debbie says, Happy New Year. Hope you had a fantastic break and a strong reset. Holidays are done. 2026 is for building, shipping, and momentum. We are ready. Ah, shit. All right, from Debbie, guy named Night Shift says, Tom, sentiment is probably as low as I've seen it, and I know I'm speaking for many of us when I say it's starting to weigh on the community and no doubt in you as well. To kick the year off on a positive note, is there anything you're able to share that might help reignite some momentum? Something small like a snapshot of the Dev Exchange, getting them created would go a long way. Tom says, personally, I'm very excited about where Devi is going. I see multiple potential paths to success. We'll do a demo soon on the Dev ecosystem platform as well. Zerdo says, Tom, greetings and a lot of blessed this year, including your goals. Your success will be ours too. I just want to ask if you can elaborate, if you have an idea right now on how staking will work. Tom says the Devi team isn't ready to announce staking details yet, but they will at some point. Tom says, my main day-to-day work is Fias, but I'm still involved with Dev. I'm the CEO of Devio still. Also, a lot of my focus in Fias is going to be using Fias to further grow Devi. I started in Fias and Devi tokens at the same time. I'm not moving on from Devi. I'm working on and will continue to work on both. Ray doesn't really use Telegram. He's a traditional businessman. I think I'm unique in the ways I interact with the community. Agreed, Tom. We love you. Eric Doherty says, Tim Walz did not drop the Minnesota governor's race because of the Somali fraud we know about publicly. He dropped out because more fraud is coming. He's panicked. It's billions of dollars, maybe even tens of billions. Yeah, him replacing the Minnesota state flag with the Somali flag is ridiculous. Elon Musk says, Walz replaced the Minnesota state flag with Somali flag. That's part of why he deserves the name Trader Tim. Put the flag back. Agreed. This guy over in the Devi Telegram says, is Jamie Dimon on Telegram answering when Moon from DGen shareholders? No, he fronts once a year at shareholders meetings like large entity CEOs. Ray is soon to be that big in my honest opinion. Given your background, I thought you'd get that. Ray is swinging with the other CEOs to create value for us and bring the Dev Exchange to market. Having said that, Tom focusing on Fias, I agree that perhaps Ray should ensure one of his team is here to communicate regularly on important questions. Austin is not doing that for reasons. We'll go over that another point. A guy named William DeFore, who goes by Julia, was just arrested by the Secret Service after allegedly vandalizing J.D. Vance's Ohio home. RIP. U.S. oil stocks rise in following the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Chevron's up 5%, Exxon was up 2%, Conoco was up 3%. This was as of January 5th, which I know it's the 7th now, so that might be a point. The Fed will inject $8.16 billion in liquidity on the 6th. That was yesterday. I don't know if that really helped. Trump administration is going to meet with top U.S. oil executives this week to discuss reviving Venezuela's energy sector. There's rumors that there's going to be a new episode, a secret 9th episode of Stranger Things tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Maybe that's why I went live at 6. I don't know. World's highest IQ holder just said Bitcoin is going to $100,000 in 48 hours. That was on January 5th. It's January 7th now. So he was very much wrong. The U.S. government could seize Venezuela's Bitcoin and crypto reserves, CNBC says. Let's go. A lot of that. Ooh, a lot of that too. $110 million worth of Bitcoin shorts were liquidated between 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 5th and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. $344 million in short positions were liquidated between 2 p.m. on the 4th and 2 p.m. on the 5th. That is the biggest shorts liquidation in 2 months. BlackRock received 2,598 Bitcoin worth $244.5 million from Coinbase. Institutions are buying a little bit again. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Ooh. Oh my God, Monday's insane. There was a couple of people that bought Devi. One of them has the $97,000 worth of Devi. Damn, they have 440,000 Devi. That's nuts. Yeah, if you type in, I believe on Netflix Korea stuff, you have D&D die, and it goes number 11. If you type in fake ending on one of it, you get these weird pop-ups. Yeah, I think there's another ending that we might get. January 5th, there's 1.8 million OMI burned. Let's go. I love it when my bae tags me and stuff, especially when it's stuff that makes me look awesome. Gotta admit, I like it. Oh my God. $250 million was added to. Oh, no, I'm sorry. $250 billion, $250 billion was added to the cryptocurrency market in 2026 as of January 5th, but I think that has gone down since then. Trump says the current financial system is outdated and will be replaced with a crypto-based one. The entire financial system will go on-chain. Bullish AF. Venezuela's stock market pumped 17% after the news of U.S. capturing Maduro. That is wild. How many more of these do I have? Okay. David Stack says, as part of the investigation, someone needs to explain why 3 liberal judges repeatedly refused to hold Somali fraudsters accountable, even after overwhelming evidence and jury convictions. Setting aside convictions isn't justice, it's sabotage. If the system protects fraud instead of punishing it, the system itself becomes complicit. Look at me as Wolverine. Good times. Good times. Department of Justice has released less than 1% of the Epstein files. The U.S. Department of Justice filed a letter to court today admitting it has released only 12,285 documents out of more than 2 million potentially responsive to the Epstein files. Transparency Act. That is less than 1%. The legal deadline for release, December 19, 2025, and that date has come and gone. What the DOJ says is that over 400 lawyers across the department are now dedicating all or a substantial portion of their workday to reviewing those documents. Let's see what happens. Is there a distraction that's going on? I don't know. What is distracting us? Maduro, oil, Venezuela, Minnesota, Minneapolis. Like, what's going on? Why can't we see more of those Epstein files? BlackRock and other ETFs have just bought another $694 million worth of Bitcoin. That is the largest inflow in 3 months, and that was on the night of January 5th, early January 6th. All right, guys, I am going to. I think I have to bounce today's. Hold on. That is the 6th. Today is the 7th. All right, guys, I got to bounce. Everyone, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm, and everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Dashi, we love you. Goodbye, guys. Never mind.